Today's Spotlight is brought to you in part by presenting sponsor, Busey Bank. Busey, your dream, our promise. Welcome back to Spotlight. I'm your host, Jane Wernette. I'm joined now by Tom Carroll and Marianne Boboski. They're representing the Naperville YMCA's Strong Kids campaign. So welcome, friends. Good to have you both here. So I'm going to start out with you, Tom, with the Strong Kids campaign, why you're relaunching it, and as importantly, where does the money go?
Yeah, great question. Let's talk about the money, because I think when we did the acquisition between Metro and Naperville Wise, people began to wonder, where does the money go? The money all stays here. We have thousands of kids in before and after school programs and camps and a variety of other things that need help. Their families need help. And our community has always been great at supporting families and children. And one of the things that we're doing right now is we're relaunching. We always ran this local campaign when we had the acquisition of Metro Chicago, of our Naperville Wise. One of the things that occurred is a lot of that fundraising went centrally to Chicago. And while we have been spending over $500,000 in assistance every single year, one of the things we know is our local fundraising really has not continued because it was centralized really to the corporate offices. And so one of the things we know to be true is the need continues to be high in our community. We locally are strong. We love taking care of our kids, our families, and our community. And so we're relaunching our Strong Kids campaign.
That's fantastic. And I think it's so important. I mean, there's the old adage that charity begins at home, right? So it's nice to take care of our own. And I think also with that whole why philosophy of nobody turned away for inability to pay. That's an important concept, right?
And it's part of the reason that it's almost $500,000 is that if we have a family in need, we take care of them.
Yeah. Marianne, you've been a longtime educator, so this is something I know that is deep in your heart, but the whole Safe and Sound program. Give us a little bit of background on that, and then obviously this is one of the core pieces that the Strong Kids campaign is supporting. So please share a little bit about that.
Sure, very definitely. I can go back into the 70s and 80s. I started in Naperville as a 5th grade teacher. And during those years, we had words like Latchkey Kids. We don't even hear the phrase Latchkey Kids anymore. Latchkey Kids, as you know, were kids who were home alone. Their parents worked. In the morning, they would leave at 6 o'clock. Kids would be alone. The kids would come home. They'd be alone till 6, 7 o'clock at night. And then something wonderful happened. Don Weber and Tom Scullin, our 2 superintendents in Naperville, got on the Y board. And they started talking about partnerships. And that's how the entire program started. We're now in over 24 schools in District 203 and 204. And it's just a great, great program where kids want to go to.
Yeah.
They do.
I remember having it at our elementary school in particular, and you know, those kids really enjoying being there in the morning. It gave great reassurance to those parents knowing those kids were in a safe place, safe and sound, and they were getting some education, they were being well taken care of. I mean, it's a real service, and particularly in today's economy, and possibly more so even now, right?
Exactly, and they get snacks. In the morning, they get after-school snacks, and the Y has so many partnerships with wonderful organizations in town who come in and work with Erica Wood, who's a wonderful director of Safe and Sound. She just knows how to get people involved, and they come in and give support, especially for STEM. We all know STEM. Actually getting the kids involved in curriculum in the schools, but having fun.
Having fun doing it before and after school,
yes,
which is great,
exactly.
Right? It's a win-win.
Absolutely.
Now, a natural sort of outgrowth, I think, of that is when you think about then what happens in the summer, right? Because now kids are out of school. So say a little more about your summer camp program and why it's so important that we fund that.
Well, my passion is getting the kids away from the television set and away from their handheld, whatever they use, and getting them out in the fresh air. And this is a very, very classy program. It's not babysitting. The kids have an actual curriculum. And by partnering with so many community organizations, they're busy every day doing something different. And this is so important. I know I have parents telling me when they pick the kids up, it's, oh, It's time already, because they're not just sitting there bored and twiddling their fingers. They're actually doing something, and doing something worthwhile, and feeling good about it.
Absolutely. And that ability to be able to be part of that program when your friends, maybe your neighbors, are involved in that, and perhaps just at this point in time you're not able to pay for that. Let's not have that be something for the kids, right?
Right. You have a focus on character development. So this is more than just I'm physically developing, but I'm also, developing how I view the world, what my value system is, what's important. And so there's this kind of holistic view of development of children, that whether it's camps or after-school programs or other programs that not everyone can afford, how do we support that in this community? How do we develop strong kids?
That's wonderful. So give us an idea, Tom, of what the goal of the Strong Kids campaign is now.
We spend a little bit less than $500,000 a year, but our goal this year is to locally raise $200,000.
That's a great goal. It's an ambitious goal, and I feel confident with the two of you that you'll get there.
Well, and we know, some of us that have been on the Y boards a long time, this is actually a smaller goal than there has been in the years past. So I'm capable, I think we are all capable of making that goal happen in this community, and I'm absolutely sure that we will meet it.
Well, and I think it's nice because you're sort of reintroducing that whole idea of we need to fundraise at a local level. Talk a little bit, Tom, because you alluded to it previously about the fact that both the Heritage Y, Craila, and the Fry Y are now part of the Chicago Metro system. So talk a little bit about why that occurred, and then how this all plays into that.
There were, this is 2011, and there were a number. So there was Craila, there was Fry, there was the Field House, there was Oswego, there was a number of properties really owned locally, what was the Heritage Y. But those properties needed maintenance, and as you know, brick and mortar requires money. And on top of that, there was debt that we had based on building some of the Ys. So you have debt that you're trying to service, and you've got requirements to care for the buildings and upgrade as programs change or things need to be taken care of, like roofs and the gym floors and locker rooms and a million other things. And we were realizing that the ability to invest in our local Ys was really not as strong as we needed it to be. So we decided to partner with the Metro Chicago. We retired our debt. Metro Chicago has invested $6 million in the Y, the local Naperville Y, since 2011. So it has really been a great partnership, and it has allowed us then to move forward with programming in great buildings and really deliver to the community the mission of the Y and building strong kids.
Yeah, it's really about the infrastructure. I mean, the Y has always had that programming in place. It's about allowing for the infrastructure to support the good work that's already being done.
Absolutely. Yeah, because pools cost money, buildings cost money.
They do.
And they require the maintenance. And if you don't have that money, then suddenly you're taking it away from programming or staffing and putting it into the infrastructure. And that's really not what we want to do. Infrastructure doesn't create good character in kids.
Right. People do. People and programs, right?
Exactly.
And a community. Mm-hmm. And Marianne, I would assume that that's the direction that you're moving with the Y, right?
Absolutely. And especially forming more partnerships. The Park District is a great partner, and we've got so many social service organizations that are working with us. Kids Matter, working with curriculum. So I think it's just going to get bigger and better.
Okay. Well, I wish you all the best with your goal. I know that you two dynamos are going to continue to lead that charge, and I look forward to hearing when you've achieved your goal. So thank you for coming by. And if you would like to learn more about how you can get involved and support the Strong Kids campaign, please go and visit their website. We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We're coming right back with more Spotlight.